this guy's saying half the time? You know, so hopefully after I beat his ass, I can beat some personality into him so he gets his own personality, gets his own character. Domination. If I don't dominate him, I'm not happy. I don't just want to win. I want to dominate him, punish him, and I want him to quit on his stool.
After suffering his first loss in a massive upset against the unknown future journeyman Bradis Prescott in 2008, Britain's shining star Amir Khan had to undertake one of the biggest rebuild jobs of the modern boxing era.
I made a mistake in my past, and now I'm a different fighter. I've come back stronger than ever. I was hit by his best shots, and I was still there.
Despite the setback and a couple of other shaky moments early on in his career, Khan's visibility nationally was immense due to spending every second of his developmental period on free terrestrial television in the United Kingdom.
I would think a lot of people out there watching an ITV1 absolutely loved it, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's entertainment, and that's what people want to watch.
The BBC and ITV networks weren't just plastering him over their screens every few months for patriotic reasons, however. This kid could fight.
He has to be today one of the fastest, if not the fastest fighter on the planet.
So as a teenager, he was one of the best boxers on the planet.
Speed was in the fight. You know, the movement, the skill. I've got speed, I've got the movement, and I've got the skill.
Equipped with blistering hand speed comparable to that of a young Sugar Ray Leonard, and ruthless finishing that got the crowd up in arms each and every time, every Khan fight was an event.
Definite improvement. Oh, good right hand. Well, the first minute of the first round.
Similar to how the Mexican fight fans turned in to watch a young Julio Cesar Chavez and Canelo Alvarez learn their trades early on, Khan's stardom surpassed that of even the heavyweight great Lennox Lewis, and quickly rivaled that of prominent figures such as Ricky the Hitman Hatton and Henry Cooper.
I have a huge fan base around the world who pray for me, who want me to succeed.
Yet, being a British icon was never the end goal for Amir. He wanted to conquer the true mecca of boxing, where all the prestigious names were earning 7, even 8 figures every time they entered the ring. The United States of America.
It's always been my dream to fight in the US. Madison Square Garden is the mecca of boxing.
Khan, now under the tutelage of the renowned Freddie Roach of the Wildcard Gym, decided to skip over any easy touches to find his feet for his first fight in the States and challenge the supremely confident former world champion, the Magic Man Paulie Malignaggi.
This is a big redemption for me. And the chance to beat a champion that everybody right now, because you're saying it right now, this guy's so great, he's the future, he's all this. But don't forget, after the fight Saturday night, after I beat him, what you were saying, because I don't want to hear Amir Khan was overrated. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. You're gonna be my friend.
Malignaggi, as I'm sure many of you are aware, was never a man short of confidence, and he always spoke his mind.
When he's had his snapping back with blistering combinations, the crowd is going to love it. They're going to want to see more. All right? And that's the first time in his career he's going to deal with that.
The conviction in his words was backed up with a lot of what he felt were facts. He wasn't the type to just talk smack to sell a fight. At every press opportunity, particularly during this time, which was unquestionably during the peak of his prime years, he had some things to say he needed to get off his chest. If that offended his opponent, the boxing organizations, or even the fans, so be it. He was an unapologetic, straight talker.
All right, but let's keep it to where it is. This is Paulie Malignaggi versus Amir Khan. On May 15th, I got all the answers.
Malignaggi was coming off a career-best win to this point with a decision over Baby Bull Diaz. Khan, in a similar vein, entered the ring with the Prescott defeat far from his mind. Fresh off dominant back-to-back victories over 2 former world champions in Marco Antonio Barrera and Andrei Kotelnik. BLTV picks up the action from round 1.
Round number 1, scheduled for 12. Right hand by Khan.
It's not so much that he's outspeeding Malignaggi. Maybe he is. They look comparably fast to me.
Very nice poise. Steps in with a combination.
Good counter hook by Malignaggi.
To Harold's point about the jab, combination there from Khan.
Malignaggi was always known for his defensive prowess and fleet of foot, but Amir was applying pressure at speeds that the Magic Man couldn't comprehend, let alone defend.
A lot more inconsistency. 238 rounds as a pro. Malignaggi had a good amateur career. Malignaggi able to connect there. Khan shoots a right hand over the top.
To make Khan reach, to jump out to a lead, as I mentioned. And
He's in control. It's easy for Amir Khan right now. He's pretty reserved when you talk with him. Just picture perfect by Amir Khan. Picking apart.
The speed was one thing, but as seen here by the punch detection graphic, Khan was landing with every punch in the book, breaking Paulie down with an exceptional repertoire as the bout entered the closing stages.
He really doesn't have much head movement, as you see there. But otherwise,
does a really good job of getting Malignaggi back to what he does best, but here he's just totally outclassed.
The headshots are really precise. And there are a lot of them, technical deficiencies in Malignaggi. He's getting hit too cleanly, too often. And, well, he threw that left hook like you mentioned.
Left hand bumps off the head of Malignaggi.
Khan's knockout shots look more convincing. Good stoppage by Steve Smoger.
Well done.
By the time of the stoppage, Khan had won all 3 of the judges' scorecards, a complete whitewash that even the willful Malignaggi acknowledged as Khan cruised to making his second successful title defense at junior welterweight.
Man, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm getting old or what, man. I mean, I'm 29. I didn't feel old. I had a great camp. You know, Amir just came and fought a very good fight. You know, he was very busy. You know, I couldn't keep up with him. I guess I couldn't get the distance right.
You know, I've got speed, power, and I'll use my speed and my boxing skills. And also the jab. You know, I got a great jab. Me and Freddie have been working on that jab for such a long time. And, you know, it worked for me. Everything was coming after the jab.
In retrospect, it didn't matter what version of Malignaggi turned up that night. If they had fought 50 times, Khan would have beaten him 50 times, and probably only given up a handful of rounds. This isn't a slight on the Magic Man, who was undoubtedly a top competitor of that time. It boils down to the style clash. Khan's weakness was always fighters that packed, at the very least, moderate punching power, something Malignaggi would attest to himself in being his biggest flaw. Furthermore, Paulie's most prominent trait, speed and defense, was thoroughly utilized by Amir's timing, distance control, and work rate. It's for those specific reasons that I think so many people, with Khan at the forefront, always pondered how the great Floyd Mayweather Jr. would have dealt with such a style clash.
Well, it just seems to me that Mayweather was afraid and he might just not never want to fight me.
Of course, he is on a different level altogether than Paulie. However, it's still one of the battles that, despite the well-documented flaws of Amir, seemed to at least favor him over many of the other fighters Floyd chose to fight in the final stretch of his career.
You know, if the fight between me and Amir Khan was to happen, Amir Khan has speed. He's had a couple impressive victories.
How do you guys think that fight would have went down? Let me know in the comments below.
But Amir, when I fought him, was just so fast. I mean, so fast. You couldn't even compare the speed from Boner to Amir Khan's speed at that time.